You know, recently I saw on the social media that there were over 100 migrants arrested for whatever reason across Westchester and or was it New York? I don't know, but bear in mind that a lot of those arrests were probably like um under false pretenses, and like I mean how convenient it is that that so many people were rounded up in one fell swoop in one fell swoop, that they were just rounded up so easily and so swiftly. How convenient it is when there's talk of like the Trump rising to power, and like how there's a problem with the economy and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that I like or hate a certain group, because I really don't care. I hate everybody equally. And like, I don't like you, I don't like anybody. I don't care if you're Latin American, Jewish, German, fucking African, Italian, Greek, whatever, you from the UK. I hate you. I hate everybody. I hate everybody equally. But I think it's unfair that and I see right through it that a lot of Hispanics were arrested for no reason at all. It's just a conspiracy. It's propaganda, and so be wary. Propaganda is real. Propaganda is like this real thing that and like, so they're putting all these cameras up, and it's just like, what are these cameras for? Like, why do we need so many cameras? Like, what are they? Who's watching who, really? And like, I see a lot of like meter maids walking around town like they own the place, and I'm like, dude, get out of here. You're not. First of all, you're not cops. You guys aren't cops. Like, I mean, yeah, if you like, they if you like, if they're treated as cops in certain parts, but like, they just act like monitors for the society that like doesn't need them. These people don't need them. We really don't really need cops. Like, the only reason these professions exist is because it's a form of like control of like humanity, and like humans have a real need to look up to something higher than themselves, and then they look to it in the government, and look to it in God, and like, we are gods. Well, I'm a god. I don't know about you. I know you're not a god, but I'm a god. And like, so we just look up we it's like we look up to other people and other beings, for our to convey the fact that they have some sort of like higher sense of like worth than other people do. I'm not talking about myself, because there's no need to talk about myself. I'm an anomaly. But like, so a lot of people are just like always looking for something else. And, everywhere they look, everywhere except for within themselves. And like, they don't, yeah, granted, you have a job, full-time job, 9 to 5, 40 hours a week plus. My advice to these people is read a book and stay informed, because if you're walking around town and like you see these meter maids walking around, or these cops walking around, and like I have nothing against cops in their as individuals, as like individual humans, but like the whole society of like basing, even in the Constitution that I read, it said like the Constitution, part of what the Constitution does is protect people's assets, and those that have assets, they protect those assets from other people that do not have the assets. So whenever there's a lack of assets, That's what they're protecting. That's what they're there for, to make sure the people that have assets keep their assets, and to make sure the people that don't have assets, it's not that they don't have assets, but like it makes sure these people don't take other people's assets. And like, yeah, granted, that's based on an internal structure of a, sexism, and b, racism, a structure of racism and a structure of sexism. So, back then, like, women did not own property during the Constitution, when the Constitution was established in 1776. And back then, people of color were slaves, and they had no property, and they had no control over property. And it wasn't until the Bill of Rights came that they actually counted as, like, what was it, like one third, or like one third of the vote. And God knows we didn't vote until much later, but like, anyways, the more, I think it was, the more slaves you had, the more votes you had in the South. So basically, there were just a bunch of, it was just like, that's the thing about people. And like, I'm not really griping against meaner maids, or I'm not griping against police officers, and I'm not supporting migrants being in the country illegally. But like, I'm wondering why society is so wrecked that, like, that we can, like, have, like, so many, like, injustices still to this day, being a new era. And like, so I sometimes I wonder, like, what is God's plan in all this? Because, like, you know you know what I feel like? I feel like God has left it all up to us to unilaterally make Earth an Eden again, on our own terms. And like, so we're here to create an Eden, and from where we were, from where we left off. And like, it's a slow uphill climb, and every day it gets better and better, but it's not really perfect. And like, it's still flawed. And so, many people die. The guy that I think he was a lieutenant, or yeah, he was a lieutenant or something, that burned, that self immolated himself, because of Palestine. And like, obviously Palestine has every right to be there. And like, Palestine has even more right to be there than Israel, than the Jews, because Palestine was there before the Jews. And like, the honestly, the Jews are they're known as, what is it called, transient. And they were always on the run, not on the well, they were always moving. And there's a term for that, I forget what it's called, actually. The nomads, they were nomads. So basically, they had no land. And then, like, post a World War One or two, they were given Palestine's land. And like, no one really informed Palestine. No one really informed Palestine that this was happening. And no one really approved it with Palestine. No one really said, like, "Oh, Palestine, do you, is this okay?" And so that's the whole debate about that is totally up for, is totally up for debate. Is like, that's not that's not Israel, that's Palestine. Originally, that's Palestine. And like, it's just it was a British move, of territory. Like, what it was. A lot of people speculate that move was for strategic purposes, to have an ally country in the Middle East. And like, so if you study your foreign policy, that's what it's there for. And like, yeah, I do support Israel, but I'm not stupid. And like, I do support Palestine too. And the thing is, the reason why I say I support Israel is because I want peace in the Middle East, and I want a fair divide of the land. And like, so, Palestine deserves more land than they currently have, that hold stake to. Because originally, Israel just kept encroaching, in land that was not theirs to begin with. And this is why they force people to into the army, because they're really a weaponized country, and like, so they're a weaponized country, and they do this. They're Oh God, this video is so long. I don't know if I'm gonna have to put it on YouTube or something. But it's a weaponized country, so basically, like, if this is, it's kind of like Cuba being, it's kind of like the Cuban Missile Crisis for the Arab world. Like, that's what the country is. And so, like, I don't like to like talk about politics so often, but like, the kind of the thing is like, everyone, there's so many like little like snippets of that stuff that like that like makes you like an outsider in society, if you have a certain like inclination, political inclination. And like, there's the right side and there's a wrong side to be on. And like, if you're on the side of peace, definitely you're on the right side. But like, that doesn't mean that peace is conferred rightly, or like in the right way. Because like, I'm not saying, that's the thing. I can't say whether Palestine and Israel will resolve this fairly, because like, in some way, Israel deserves to be somewhere, obviously. But like, Palestine, so does Palestine. And Palestine deserves to be there just as much or more in that area. And like, so the thing is, the problem is that there's so much history in Jerusalem, and like, and like in Bethlehem and all that place, for like the Christian nations. And like, so if the Arab world takes over that country, those areas, then it's kind of like it's kind of like the Holy Wars again, where like, oh well, look at my hair. Wow, what the fuck? Let me see. You guys remember when I was showing you my hairline? Not to take away from the most important topic of the century, but look at my hairline. Oh my God, it's actually getting better and better, dude. Look at this one. See my hairline. Now, what would you rather listen to? Like, how I fix my hairline, which is like really cool. My hairline is growing and growing. Check it out. Look, check it out. Check out my hairline. It's literally growing. And like, see these patches right here where it's a little lighter. Like, this is like a place where like it's not an actual bald. I mean, it is bald. It is a spot where there's no where only like very thin, tiny follicles are there. Like, very thin, tiny follicles are there. And like, so you still have time, if you have those thin patches, where like you can still regrow the hair. And so what I'm taking is what am I taking? I'm taking Foti, Foti, and then so I'm interchanging that with what is it? Bringaraj, Bring. I can't spell. Bringaraj. Sound it out phonetically. And so these two products, and like, don't take, you got to take you have to take a month of rest. But like, these two products, and they're not hormones, from what I know. But like, I don't have a girlfriend, but my sex life by myself, I guess I still have a sex life if I'm doing it by myself. But it's great. I still have a lot of potency and stuff like that. So I don't think it really affects the hormones. It's more because it's a natural herb. So like, there's no real side effects. So if you guys have like issues with like kind of like premature balding and stuff like that, male or female, like I would suggest some of these herbs, because it's like, even here, it's growing in really great. And so I recommend it. And like, I am an Ayurvedic practitioner, so in some sense I can actually, like, I can't prescribe these things because I'm not like but I can recommend these things. And if you would go to me for like for my services in Ayurveda, I would recommend those two herbs. And like, there's some herbs that are male, and then some herbs that are female. Just like the plant, and just like marijuana has the male and the female, you know, parts to it. There's some herbs that are male and some herbs that are female, and more catered to like balancing the yin and the yang of the energies. And so, basically, depending on how imbalanced you are of one yin or yang, that's what you take. Or it's just a balancing out to make sure you're stable. And so I'm really happy with this. And like, herbs aren't the only thing. Like, just taking one herb as prescribed isn't really going to do everything. Like, you have to do a lot of different things, because in Ayurveda, it's not just about taking the herb, it's about yoga, like physical asana, like chanting of mantras, meditation, because that stuff all really helps the health of your body and your spirit, which in turn, the health of the spirit, um kind of like, it reflects the health of your body. And so, like, my mom has cancer, so her fingernails are kind of like bruised looking, and like my fingernails have sparkles on it because I'm a fucking sparkly motherfucker, and I'm enlightened. So thus I have sparkly fingernails. Thus I have sparkly fingernails. Anyways, enough of that. But yeah, so if you guys want to come to me and like for Ayurvedic help, come to me. And like, well, if you want to come to me, just leave a comment. And like, because I'm gonna put this on YouTube. But like, leave a comment. Don't just harass me on the street. Don't harass me on the street, because I hate that shit. It's like, I don't want people just coming to my fucking door. I mean, I don't. Sorry, I don't want just random people just like coming up to me like, hey, and that's all they say is just hey, and it's like, go away, go away. You're annoying. Go away. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you want from me. What do you want from me? Just like, come on, be civilized. Like, if you want to talk, if you need help, like, comment on me. Comment, have some engagement on this thing.